Welcome back to the dumbest bill in America. We have with us, of course, Delegate Brian Chisholm. Welcome back, Brian.
Good to be here.
So, Brian, guess what? We have another bill that's the dumbest bill in America, podcast listeners. House Bill 551, which we are calling More Addiction. You know, like Governor Moore. So this bill eliminates all penalties, criminal and otherwise, for having any paraphernalia whatsoever. We're not talking about paraphernalia for smoking pot. Not just that. We're talking about syringes, any way you would get your high whatsoever. You can't be arrested for having the paraphernalia. Brian, what do you think about that? Good idea?
It sounds like it's, and the Wire fans will appreciate this, the Stringer Bell starter kit. Stringer Bell was the drug dealer in the Wire. But that's honestly, hey, like, look, Mark, I'm not kidding about this. You're going to see it. I'll guarantee you. That's why this bill's going through. They want to start to give the needles out for free.
Yes,
because
course.
They've been asking that forever.
Yes, they have.
And they're going to want state money for it. And they're going to give you all these things. But, well, it's the safest way for us to do it. So let's make sure that none of the paraphernalia that we want the taxpayers to pay for is illegal, because then it is a problem. Why would we pay for illegal stuff?
So the other thing too is, Brian, let's walk through like a scenario, podcast listeners. So you have a child in high school or middle school, and somebody approaching you can say, oh, it's a minor. No, let's say there's another minor, or even if it's somebody who's out of high school. Okay, we can try that as well. And someone shoots them up with heroin, as an example, and it's their first time. And suddenly the needle is there and the cops show up and it's like, can't arrest me for that. Well, can't arrest me for that. Now, obviously, if you're in high school, you're a minor. That's a different thing. But just let's just say you're 18 or 19 or you're 20 or you're 21. You aren't actually trying to solve a problem, which is why this just creates more addiction. The name of the podcast. Go, Brian.
Yeah, then that's you. Look, the drug dealers are smart. They usually have the money separate from the drugs, and then the drugs separate.
Sure.
So if they were to pick somebody up and it's got a bunch of paraphernalia, well, that's probable cause usually, but it's not probable cause anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's a legal substance. It's like you having nickels in your pocket. They can't do anything about it. But if you had a bunch of needles and it was illegal or dirty spoons or whatever, then the cops say, well, that's probable cause, and then you can create the link. But now they're eliminating that. So what they're really doing here is they're making things even tougher for law enforcement to figure out the people that are on the street that really are addicted. How are they going to get help now if you're not even allowed to approach people?
Yeah, so Brian, and also podcast listeners, get this. Most of the sponsors of the bill, Brian, are delegates from Baltimore City. You know, like the drug capital of the state, certainly one of the drug capitals of the country. And they don't want to solve this problem. They're just like contributing to the problem by putting in House Bill 551 from Delegates Simpson, Acevero, Addison, Ampry, Boyce, Conaway, Crutchfield, Embry, Foley, Lewis, Long, Phillips, Robertson, Ruff, Smith, Stinnett, Wells, Wilkins, Williams, and Young. I mean, many of them are from Baltimore City. Don't they understand there's a problem?
Yeah, and they see the total purge of that city and how bad. I mean, Baltimore City has lost more than, 600,000 people? Was it 1.2 million? They're now smaller than several of the counties in the state of Maryland. Yes. The only people there are the people that can't get out. Well, at least with this bill, they can walk out with their paraphernalia. That's no longer illegal.
Final thoughts about this, Brian, about the fact that the Democrats in the General Assembly and Governor Moore don't want to actually solve the crime problem, let alone, of course, the drug problem, and just want to say, hey, just shoot up wherever you want, and we're not going to hold you responsible or even try to find out where you got the paraphernalia because it's no big deal.
No, and that's right. These are unserious people about really looking at a problem, right? It's honest to God. They are very unserious. If they really wanted to help, then they would find ways to help people rather than say, well, we don't want people to do things illegally anymore. We just make everything legal, right? So if we make everything legal, then technically there's no crime in our state.
And that's House Bill 551, More Addiction, the dumbest bill in America. We'll see you next time.